Would you believe me if I told you I fell in love at 8? Would you also believe me if I told you that I lost that love, but looking back now, I think that that's probably one of the best things to have ever happened to me. One Saturday morning, my dad loaded us up into the car and we took a long drive. We ended up going to a park where I saw lots of kids playing on different soccer fields. We went to one particular field and he introduced me to his friend who was the coach of a team. He then handed me a jersey and said, "Here, go play." I had never played before, but in my PE classes, I was the fastest girl, so I ended up being pretty fast in that game as well. And it was easy for me to get to the opposite side of the field and score. I fell in love right then and there. Soccer, wow, it was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. I felt like I had finally woken up. I fell in love with the sport because it was easy, it came naturally to me, it was fun, and it was something that my dad and I could talk about. So I incorporated it into my everyday life. I was practicing all the time. Every Saturday I was up by 5 a.m. even though my game was 2 or 3 in the afternoon, just nervous and ready to go. At this time, the sport was growing in popularity, particularly because of the USA women's national team, all of their accomplishments and recognitions that they had gotten. So I decided right then and there around the age of 11 that this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to high school, play on the team there, and get a scholarship to a college team. From there, hopefully be picked up anywhere in the world to play on a team. And even decided, once my body gives out and I'm too old, I'll just go ahead and coach. But then suddenly, tragedy struck. At the age of 16, I had an injury. I had injuries before, but this one was different. I had to go see a doctor, I had to get an MRI, and I was told that I would need surgery for my knee. The first thing that I thought was, how long am I going to be out? My doctors told me, "Oh, this is fairly routine, it's not that bad, only 6 weeks." So I realized, okay, I would be fine and ready to play for my junior year. When I woke up from surgery, I looked around at the faces of my parents and my sister, and something was very wrong. My doctor then came in and he told me, unfortunately, there was a lot more damage. We had to do a lot more repairs than we had initially thought. You are going to be out 12 months. I completely zoned out after that. He kept on talking about rehab and my options, and in my head I was just, my junior year is over. I'm not going to be able to play anymore during this critical, crucial recruiting time. My stats aren't gonna go up. And I just felt like my life was over. This was 6-7 years of hard work that I had already put into. I was practicing, I was learning, I was developing myself. I was focused on my goal, on my future. And it was all taken away from me right then and there. And I got mad. Mad is an understatement, but it's what I can say here. So I turned into this somber, lonely, depressed person, the complete opposite of what I was before my surgery. And my senior year, I was kind of in autopilot. I mean, I got up, I went to school, got my good grades, graduated. It didn't really mean that much to me at the time. And during that summer, it was kind of the same thing, just a zombie. But towards July, beginning of August, my dad said, "Enough mopey. What are you going to do?" College was always my future. I knew no matter what, I still had to go to college to get a degree to better myself. Luckily, I was fortunate enough to live in El Paso, where we have a great university, the University of Texas at El Paso. I applied and I was accepted. I joined as a freshman, undecided major, just because I still didn't know what I wanted to do. But I was still sad, and I was still unsure of myself, trying to rediscover who I was now, because if I'm not the girl trying to play soccer, trying to get a scholarship or join a team or coach, then who am I? I had worked all this time for this. I went to classes and I started to fail. That was the first time I had ever failed in school. I would read 10 minutes before classes starts. I would study the night before, thinking that I would still be able to pass, sort of like in high school. But it was not easy at all. Because of failing my classes, I lost my financial aid and I was placed on academic probation. So now I was struggling in school and I couldn't ask for help. I didn't want to ask my parents for help or for money because I was messing up. Because of this, I had to attend college, but maybe take 1 or 2 classes per semester. It was whatever I could afford at the time. A few years passed and my sister, my younger sister, ended up getting her degree first. So I see her, I'm very proud of her, I'm very happy for her, but she's younger and she's the first in our family to get her degree. That should have been me. So that was a turning point in my life where I just decided, okay, I've gotta accept that this is my new life. I decided to major in business just because that one degree could open the door to many different fields. I could go into accounting, economics, finance, human resources, management. Finally, after 10 years of going to school, paying for it on my own, I earned my bachelor's degree in general management. 2 years after that, I was offered a job as an administrative assistant here at the University of Texas at El Paso. Now, how does this story turn out to be the best thing that could have ever happened to me? Well, I'll tell you. It made me realize a few things. I'm stronger than I had originally thought. Life is going to come at you and knock you down or throw loops at you, challenges if you will. But it's the way that we face these challenges that decide our outcomes. To quote a famous Disney character, the problem is not the problem. The problem is your attitude about the problem. If I had just realized that, okay, I'm not gonna be able to play a junior, I could come back as a senior, maybe still go and get some sort of thing, or continue to play on my own. Maybe I could still have had a better attitude about college and come in with an idea of doing something else, maybe kinesiology, something that I was still passionate about. It took me a long time to realize that I could still succeed in life. I also realized that you can always depend on family and friends for your help. Even though I was going through this struggle, they helped me and they always supported me and they always told me, hey, keep going, you'll be fine. So even though it might take you a few years, just never stop going or achieving more. It's very important that you all realize that no matter what plans you had, something can change them. Always make sure to have a plan B and a positive attitude, and you can get through anything.